Hey folks, Sam Long here. I am a first endurance athlete and I wanted to walk you guys through my Xterra 70.3 and Ironman nutrition plans. But before I did that, I wanted to explain a little bit of the rationale behind what I do, and I want to explain it in a way that allows you to create your own customizable nutrition plan, because that's going to allow you to have success on race day while just telling you what I do. And if you follow that, that may very well likely be a recipe for disaster. So let's get into it. I break it into 3 simple steps. Okay, 3 steps. That's it. That's all you got to do. Number 1, calorie needs. How many calories do you need? For example, I like 400 calories an hour on the bike. Okay, but I only like about 200 calories an hour on the run in an Ironman. And Xterra is very different. I'll get into that more later. So calories, play with it. Decide how many you need. It's going to be different for every person, depending on your body type, depending on the duration of the event, depending on how hard you're going, okay? So we all kind of have our own idea. Keep that number in mind. Step number 2, electrolytes. How many electrolytes do you need? Again, this is going to depend. Are you an excessive sweater? How big are you? But most importantly, how hot is it? And once we get here, you decide these 2 numbers, then we come and look at the first endurance products, okay? There's 3 products that they offer. They offer an EFS Pro, which this has calories, but it also has the highest electrolyte content. So I am actually a huge fan of this. I use this on all my runs, on all my Ironman and 70.3 runs, regardless of temperature, because I'm usually down on electrolytes and my gut tolerates it really well. Then they have just EFS. So it's a little bit different. It's not EFS Pro. It has the same number of calories. It's a little lower in electrolyte content. So this is what most people will be using in most situations, okay? Finally, they offer what's called a liquid EFS gel flask, and this has lower electrolyte content and it's far more concentrated. There's 400 calories in this little flask, as you can see, so this needs to be drinking with water. Okay, and using these 3 products, these are the only 3 products I need in a race, and I get all my electrolytes and all my calories in. I will occasionally still take something from course, just because sometimes you decide you want a little extra and it's hard to carry everything and predict everything that you'll need. So that's something to keep in mind. And then the third thing to consider is water requirements. Okay, how much water do you need? And with these products, with the EFS Pro, for example, it's usually at a concentration that you don't need to be drinking any water with it, but you can make it at a stronger concentration. While with this, because of how concentrated it is, you'll always need to drink water. So with these 3 simple steps, you can figure out how to get by in any race, okay? And so, yes, like I have certain things I generally do for an Ironman, for a 70.3 and an Xterra, but going into the race, I always look at the weather, how hot it is, kind of how I'm feeling, and I can change things up. And so understanding the background behind it really allows you to not have to follow something, and if something goes different than planned, you're not screwed, because okay, like you understand why, which allows you to be successful, and you can then modify based on how you feel. If it's hot, for example, you use more of this. If it's cold, you use more of this. So those are really the 3 things. With this being said, I'll tell you very quickly what I do. Let's go through Ironman first, okay? The morning before, I like to have a 4th product that I'm showing you here. This is called Ultragen. This is a recovery drink. It's pretty high in protein, 20 grams of protein per serving. So I'll have a full serving of this with breakfast. I also just have what I usually have, which is white rice with 2 eggs. Okay, so it's quite a large breakfast. I drink that with water. Then leading into the race, I'll drink more EFS Pro, just in a race bottle. I kind of just drink to taste. I'm not too worried about it. I just want to keep things topped up and stay hydrated. I get in the swim, I come out of the swim, perfect, okay. Usually what I do, again, this depends on the weather, but I carry 2 bottles of this on the bike at 400 calories each of EFS Pro. Okay, I then carry 2 of these. That gives me 1,600 calories for an Ironman bike leg, between 350 to 400 calories per hour for me. And what I love about this is I don't have to stop at special needs. I have everything I need on me. Okay, my last flask, so I'll basically just be switching off between these. This is better once it gets hot, but my last flask I don't touch until an hour left, and I put another product in, and this is my favorite product. It's pre-race. You can get it in capsules. You can also get it in a powder form. I use both. again, depending on what I'm in the mood for, because I like to change things up. That's just who I am, okay? This has 200 milligrams of caffeine, and it has a bunch of ingredients in it that help you focus, and it seriously enhances performance. So the last hour, I take that in one of these. I just scoop it in, or I take 3 pills. Boom, easy. Okay, that's the bike. On the run, I put basically a bottle like this, only it's disposable because I value these water bottles. I just put it in a little disposable one. 200 calories of EFS Pro. I drink that usually the first 5 miles. It gets me up on my hydration. It keeps me up on my calories. I drink water at every aid station. I keep chugging along. There you go. Then I get to 13.1 miles, and I have the same thing, another 200 calories. And this also has pre-race in it. I forgot to mention that for the first time. Both of them have a full another serving of pre-race. So I take 3 servings of pre-race throughout the course of an Ironman. But it only is in the duration of 4 hours, the last 4 hours for me. Usually a little bit less. And then at that halfway, that usually gets me to about mile 20, at which point I just kind of want to keep up with it. So I usually love having a little bit of Coke at the end. I might grab a caffeinated goo at mile 23. So that's that. I finish. I try and have Ultragen recovery. If I can't get that down, I have to push race food. Okay, pretty much it's that simple. 70.3 race plan. All we got to do, same breakfast. That's Ultragen. I usually just have a little white rice with it. I don't need it quite as big of a breakfast. Pre-race, same deal. I drink this just to taste with EFS Pro. On the bike, same thing. Depending on how hot it is, okay, I will either carry 1 bottle or 2 bottles. If it's cool, I'll just carry 1 bottle of EFS Pro and then just 1 flask, okay? It's so simple. I love it because I have 1 bottle. I drink this bottle first. I then just grab water on course, and then I drink this. It's maybe not the most ideal. I could maybe put this in 2 bottles, but I like it for aerodynamics, and I like it for weight, especially if it's a hilly course such as Oceanside or St. George. So that's what I do. While if it's a hot race, I'll carry 2 bottles of this, usually diluted between 200 and 300 calories, and one of these, which I'll sometimes pour a little bit out and then fill it up with water so it's a little less diluted. Okay, that's, again, I understand the science behind it, so I can modify based on the heat. I then get on the run, same deal, 1 bottle of this, 200 calories with pre-race. That's really all I need. I have that. And then I'll grab a little bit of Coke and maybe a caffeinated goo on the end, and water at every aid station. It's that simple. Finally, let's get into Xterra. Breakfast the same, just a little bit of Ultragen, a full serving of Ultragen, maybe a little bit of white rice. I'm usually not that concerned in an Xterra. Then I take a full serving of pre-race before the swim starts, okay? I have another bottle of usually EFS Pro, like if it's a course like Maui, but if it's a cooler race, then I'll just put regular EFS in, okay? And then I have an EFS liquid gel flask taped to my bars. This is usually half to 3/4 full, and then it also has another serving of pre-race. So my routine is I drink the bottle first. I only can hold 1 bottle on my mountain bike. I get to the first aid station. I usually have drinking this whole thing. I chuck it, I grab water, I then just have this with water for the remainder of the bike. Okay, the run's only 10K. I usually don't finish this. I just grab whatever's left on the run. I'll grab a swig or 2 of water at an aid station, a swig or 2 of this, and I'm done. Boom. It's that easy. There's 3 distances explained. Hopefully you can take what I just taught you and modify it and make your own plan. Thank you very much for listening. Cheers.